Hello and welcome back to the Yogi Minimalist Fit Enthusiast, or maybe you are watching from my website slash blog, gettingmymojoback.com. And today I wanted to talk about why I left my job. Now, I'm not going to give out any names of all my previous jobs, but just know I worked my butt off and I tried my best. So, my previous job, which I was with for about 5 years, I've been training for a very, very long time. I've trained on and off for 10 years, and then I started working from home. And then when I stopped working from home, I thought to myself, if I'm doing any type of job, it has to be something I enjoy doing. So then personal training came back to me. And it's funny that the things that I enjoy doing, training, yoga, Reiki, Ayurveda, all the things that I'm certified in and that I practice, they all came to me when I needed it the most. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with life again. And all of it contributes to not just your physical well being, but your overall well being. And with the overall well being, that goes into your daily life outside of your workout sessions and whatnot. So for me, I got to the point of just feeling so much peace, love within myself, that all the outside factors I realized wasn't matching. And I felt like that with my job. And I was feeling this way for quite some time, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So just like when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, okay, I'm feeling a certain way. Let me see if I can make things work out. And you give your all. You give your all. You try to fix things at different angles. You try to say things differently, do things differently, think differently. And sometimes none of that works. And I feel like when you exhausted all of your resources and you really, really tried to make it work, and sometimes it's just you, right? And then the other half isn't working. The other half's not meeting you halfway. And honestly, you know, it has nothing to do with you for the most part. A lot of it is the situation itself that needs to work out, um, or with the significant other. Sometimes things are not working out because that person or both parties have some individual work to do, and sometimes that includes being away from each other. But in this case with my job, it's like, okay, I'm trying here. I don't know what you're doing over here, but you're doing something a little different. This is not aligning. It's not aligning anymore. I gotta go. So that's what it came down to. It came down to my mental health. And I am going to talk more about this a little more. I'm trying to turn my music down because it's gonna get a little serious. But if you're with a job and they're not understanding your mental health, um, that can be a problem, especially when you're dealing with people who are higher up. Which, by the way, regardless of what job it is, if you're higher up, if you're a manager, a supervisor, and you're dealing with multiple people, and some jobs require this, but I honestly feel like every job should require this, to where the people working higher up need to take psychological or yeah, psychology courses. You need to take some courses so you can understand how to work with, not just work with different people, different personalities, but also understand and be able to work with people who have different challenges, or everyday challenges, such as anxiety, depression, or whatever it is. People need to learn how to work with people in general, and people need to understand that people work, they work differently, they process things differently. Some people need to take more breaks than other people, but it needs to be done. um, so when you're working, you're around these people more than your own family, so you would think they would understand, but they only see you, glimpses here and there. They don't know you, they only know the work you. um, so with my job, which by the way, my attendance has always been good. As a personal trainer, you're you people are paying for your time, and you want them to be accountable, but you yourself, you have to be accountable for yourself too. So my attendance is always good. I'm always there for my clients. Always, always, always. But it comes to a point where, I need a break. I see a lot of people all throughout the day, and even when you're at home, it doesn't matter. It's still an energy exchange. It still takes a lot out of a person, and I like to recharge so that I can give my all to the next person. Recharge, give my all again. Maybe it's an introvert thing. I don't know. I am an introvert. I'm an INFJ. I'm the rarest, good and bad. I don't know. I don't know. But I do take in energy, I absorb it a lot, and I also put out a lot. So I like to take breaks in between. So there's times with jobs where they have all these meetings either throughout the day, or they have all these meetings throughout the week, and it can be redundant. It can be redundant. Um, and then if you're anything like me, mild adult ADHD, sitting down and just hearing people talk about nothing, which they're talking about something. This is not to be rude, guys, but this is how my brain processes things. If you're living with ADHD, you would understand, right? So for me, sitting down, and although I already know the information, this is stuff that this in the meeting, right? In the meeting, these are things we've gone over before. So why are we going over them again? And some people need that repetitive, do it, do it, do it, do it. Some people need that. I don't need it. It drives me crazy, and it actually messes with my productivity. So I already know what I need to do. I want to focus on that, and I want to get it done. And then I want to take some breaks so I can recharge and get into the next task if that's what I need to do, right? So just planning out your day accordingly. So you're planning out not just your schedule with your clients, but also your schedule with yourself. And again, some people need that time. And I was not, I did not feel that I was getting that time. I felt like everything was just numbers. And as a personal trainer, it's not just a job for me. I'm very passionate about what I do. I like to connect with people. I feel like connecting with them and meeting them where they're at. That's the most important thing for me, is respecting them as a person, not as a number. So we would have these reports and numbers, number, and for me, it wasn't sitting well with me. I do understand it. As a business, you want to make sure you're staying on track. You want to grow as a business. So I can respect that. I get that. But then there comes a point where trainers, they have so many um, duties, right? There's so much that's being caked on to us. You know, like, you don't just have to do this. You have to do this. And it was just too much. And there was no organization. The organization was lacking. The morale was lacking. And the toxic positivity. It was just so toxic. So toxic, because although I really try my best to be uplifting and positive, I'm a realist too, so being real is important, and not being like, oh, that's okay, that's fine, that. Like, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. What are other ways we can address these issues? You know what I mean? So let's be real about these things. Let's be real with our clients. Let's be real, authentic people and not like a robot, because I can't do it. Like, even thinking about it right now, it drives me insane. So I decided to spread my wings and become a private trainer, a private yoga instructor, and Reiki master. And, I pretty much already had my own clients anyway, um, but I had to make more time as time was going on, because people who are working from home and whatnot, they required certain times that I could not train or teach, because I was working for another company that was taking my time, which at that time I was working a shift. So I decided, I don't want to work a shift. I want to make my own appointments. I have the work ethic, I have the mindset, I have the passion for it. So if I'm going to put in all this work that this job is demanding of me, which don't pay that much, I might as well do all of these things over and above, like how I usually do, and do something for myself, and also make more time for my clients as well as myself. Because there's other things that I want to do. I like to write on my blog. I'm in the process of writing another book, and one book I haven't published as of yet. So there's all these goals, personal goals, that I want to accomplish, and I didn't feel like I was accomplishing much having this job. Now, it doesn't matter what job you have. You can be working at McDonald's, but are you feeling fulfilled? And it's not just at the job, but the job itself. Are they allowing you to have the time for you to fulfill other things? You know, are those do they have business policies that you agree or disagree with? So it's a lot of things to consider. And this kind of goes with my first video on not limiting yourself. But whatever you're doing with whatever job, do you feel that you're being limited because of the job? Or do you feel that you're not able to expand because of those limitations? You know what I mean? So, for instance, this particular job would focus on one thing, and I can't focus on one thing because I'm certified in other things. I want to be able to provide services to my clients in the many different areas that I've studied: yoga, Reiki, Ayurveda. So, that was something that I wanted to consider too. Not learning all of these things, right? And not putting use to it. So, there's a difference between being used and abused. I definitely felt like I was being abused. And like I said, I'm not going to name any names because I'm not here for that. And this is something that's definitely not intentional from them, because every business has their own requirements and they have their needs. I can't expect for them to tend to my needs when they have business needs. They're not a personal type of, they're not going to meet you in a personal way. They're going to meet you in a business way. So there was an incident where, this is just an example. I didn't go to a meeting. At this time I was feeling really burnt out. The holidays were coming to an end, and it was just a lot of stuff that I was going through at that time. The holidays for me can be very challenging. I experienced different types of trauma, and around holiday season years ago, and I'm better now, but sometimes when you're experiencing flashbacks, CPTSD, there's going to be things that are going to pop up without you even thinking about it. It's just going to pop up, unfortunately. And there'll be certain situations that you have experienced from the past that can come up. So, all these things I was experiencing, I just needed time. I needed time, I needed space. And the job's like, well, we needed you, and basically you weren't being a team player, blah blah blah. It's unfair to them. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but it's unfair to me, it's unfair to my mental health if I were to ignore that. So, you know what I mean? This me getting in trouble for that incident had nothing to do with me training clients, which is why I got hired there, which was is my job, my duty. I didn't realize that my duty was to go to these meetings, especially when I'm not feeling like it. I'm not feeling like it, you know? You gotta listen to yourself. This is not to get anyone in trouble, right? I don't want people to get in trouble, but like, I'm not going to this meeting, she's right, blah blah blah. You want to pick and choose. But in the email I said, hey, I'm not feeling up for this, I'm going to skip this one. I was back to back that day, and instead I got in trouble for not attending a meeting. Now, this particular job has a 3 strike policy, so that was my first strike. But at that time, I already knew I was going to leave the job. It was just a matter of time. So that didn't sit well with me, because instead of the person asking me questions and being sympathetic or understanding, like, okay, she was going through a lot. No, no. I instead got in trouble because I didn't meet the business need, although I met my need of taking a break, And then I even said there's times where I want to speak with my therapist during, work hours. Sometimes I have to gray out um, a time on my calendar so that I can attend this meeting with my therapist. So it goes in one ear out the other, and I didn't feel like I was being heard. I didn't feel like they cared. So my thing is, why should I care? Why should I care about a job that doesn't care for me? Why should I go and attend these meetings if I feel like I'm being ignored? You know what I mean? I am so sick of jobs in general, just working people so hard like we're robots, and there's no reciprocation back. Now, there are some jobs that are really passionate about your well-being and having that work-life balance, but there's some jobs that they do not care about it, or if they do, they have a horrible job at establishing that with the work group, with their employers. So I just got tired of it, and I don't mind working hard, but if you're not working hard for me and you're not taking into consideration that people get burnt out and that there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, whether if it's personal or, you know, worldwide, such as COVID and all this other crazy stuff in the world going on, um, then I just don't get it. I just really have a hard time believing that jobs, care about their employers when all they care about really is having workers work their butts off. You know, you gotta have a work-life balance, um, regardless of where you work. We are not built to work, 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 work. Although some people have that mentality, they can keep going. Not everybody functions that way, though. Not everybody functions that way. And speaking of function, when jobs give out the personality tests, what's the point of having these personality tests or quizzes um, if you're not studying them? You're not studying them, you're not taking into consideration that, oh, this person is this, so they're going to function differently. What happens most of the time is You know, a job might have, uh, I'll call them a high roller. They might have a high roller who just work, work, work. They get all the stuff done, and they're good at what they do. And then they have those same expectations with everyone else. And sometimes they'll even say that. Well, so and so. Well, hey, that is so and so. So and so is great. They're fantastic, but I'm not so and so. I don't work that way. You know, I'm a different kind of person. They're a different person. And not only that, but people go through their things. So just because people go through things, it doesn't mean that they need to be up here all the time. No, people go through things. Let people go through things. Let them. Let them be human, you know? So I took a leap of faith and I was like, you know what, that's it. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm passionate about. And I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to focus my energy on that and let go of things that are not serving me. I don't care if it's people, I don't care what it is. I cannot take it anymore. And everybody has their breaking point. So I had a breaking point, although I was already on the verge of quitting, because I never got with this particular job to be there forever. I know I want to be a personal trainer and a yoga instructor and Reiki. I want to do all of those things forever because I love it. I'm passionate about it. But I never thought that I would be working for a company for the rest of my life. You know, I am a one on one personal trainer, yoga instructor, and maybe small groups, right? Maybe some small groups here and there. But I like to focus on building healthy relationships. I don't want to focus on building the business. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on building with the client. So that's why I had to make that jump for myself, and I feel amazing about it. I am going to talk a little bit more about these types of situations where jobs are just, it's almost like they're losing their human connection in a way, and they're so focused on the numbers, the money, more numbers and more numbers. So I want to get away from that. You know, that's what I want to do on my own personal level, is not focus on power, greed. I don't want to focus on that. It doesn't sit well with me as an individual, and spiritually I don't like it. I just want to help people. That's all that I want to do. So I am coming on here talking to you about my experience and why I left my job. Like I said, there'll be a little bit more information about this, but we're already at like 20 something minutes, so I'm going to leave it here so it doesn't get longer than that. But anyways, comment down below. What are your experiences with this? What have you experienced with these jobs? And trust me, I've experienced this with plenty other jobs before. So yeah, let's talk about it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.